Yes, people. What's going on? It's Egal Talks Football. We're back again with another video. I got a special guest in the building today. I got my boy Deluded Gooner in the house. We're going to be talking about Arsenal's transfer window, the good, the bad, the ugly, and just how we're feeling right now as a fan base and everything else. But before we go any further, please do hit that like button. Please do hit that subscribe button. And if you want to fast forward to your favorite part, you guys can do that afterwards. I'll make sure I put the timestamps and everything that you guys so you guys know what's going on. But Deluded, what's going on, man? How you been?
I'm good, man. First things first, my stream overran. Apologies for my lateness. I'll pay my fine. Love for having me, man. Love the chat. As Egal said there, smash the like button, subscribe, and sure, we're going to have a great chat, man.
There you go. Deluded, usually I'm the more positive guy. Today, I'm going to need you to be the more positive, uplifting guy because I kind of feel down. And you know why? Because I'm worried, bro. I'm worried.
What are you worried about?
I'm worried because I'm worried Arsenal's not going to do what it takes to get over the line once again. I'm worried that I'm seeing Man City, I'm seeing Chelsea, I'm seeing Liverpool doing things that is making me believe we could be coming in fourth next season, challenging to try to just get back into the Champions League positions at the rate these guys look like they're signing their players at. I know we haven't gotten started yet, so we don't know what we're going to be cooking or what the ingredients is going to be. But right now, I can't help but feel worried. I look over to Man City. I see what's it called? Ait Nuri. I see friggin' Reinders. I see Cherky coming through. I look over at Liverpool. I see Florian Wirtz, Frimpong, Kirkes, all these guys. Plus, they're gonna go try to get a striker. And then I look at Chelsea, and out of all three of the teams, the one that worries me the most is Chelsea, because I look at Chelsea going to get the goalkeeper they're trying to get right now, Mike Mignon, going to try to get a center back of quality.
Man United as well.
All these signings that they're making, those three teams specifically worry me the most because I'm looking at them as the teams that are going to be in and around where we are. And if Chelsea are going and addressing all their needs at a better rate than we are, we're going to talk about Arsenal's dream transfer window, but it's already starting out like a nightmare.
It's not how you start, it's where you finish. When everyone's fearful, that's when you got to be brave. And crucially, like you said there, yeah, obviously, as a fan, we're not in the boardroom with Berta and Arteta and all these things. But we're not announcing nothing at this moment in time. You know, we're not decided between Sesko and Gyokeres and the Zubimemdi things. A new day brings up a new kind of development. Just going to have to get it done. The Arsenal, I always say, I'll talk every day. I'll be more upbeat and more negative other days. When the window shuts, make sure you've got the added quality into the starting 11. Make sure you've got the depth because, again, there's pressure on the manager. You lot need to deliver. And even with the obvious reasons there's pressure, Arteta was very specific. He said, Berta's going to do this. I'm getting goosebumps. I'm doing this and the third. Make sure you deliver, innit? Make sure you deliver. That's all I would say. Make sure September the 1st comes, you've got everything you need. And if you don't, you somehow by hook or by crook have to deliver trophies. If not, decisions have to be made, man.
Hey, bro, is it me or the blueprint for this transfer window was basically put out last year? Because I know you've seen the tweet that I seen. There was a tweet floating about today. In last year, May 20th, last year, we wanted either Sesko, Isaac, Neto, or Nico Williams. So some key forward players. We wanted midfielders of either Onana, Bruno, or Zubimemdi. Looks like we're going to get Zubimemdi. And then defensive cover, Hato, and another goalkeeper if Ramsdale leaves. Literally looks like what we were looking at last summer is going to be what we're looking at this summer. What the hell did we do the whole season? I mean, all last summer was a waste of time then.
We didn't. I mean, like you said there. I mean, we know what we need to do. The team owe us for last summer plus a bit of tax. We didn't, considering the fact that we just missed out to City. What was said on the Emirates pitch on the last day of the season and all the links. We didn't have the summer that we needed to. We didn't do anything. So it doesn't surprise me if we're still trying to quote unquote go for the same names or address the same areas. Of course, there's Gyokeres has been thrown into the mix. I don't know. Well, the Neto one's dead because we're not going to buy him from Chelsea. But naturally, we have to do the same business. If nothing changes, nothing changes. Whether it's the recruitment, whether it's the many fragilities we have tactically, we've been knowing where the areas we need to address. None of this is anything new.
And then just quickly, it's taken away from the Arsenal side. When you see Chelsea and Man City and Liverpool addressing their needs at a quicker rate than us, and going out to doing their things. Does that not concern you?
Naturally it concerns you because when you got your fan cap on, you're gonna be jealous of what other clubs are doing. But naturally speaking, like without knowing anything, of course there's exceptions to the rule. But if Liverpool are moving at this speed to sign Verts, then it must have been they must have done the bulk of that in months before in several other clubs as well. Kind of what you hear with us with the Zubimemdis and whatnot of this world. The difference is none of these guys have come through the door. Unfortunately, I can't get upset really because I've got no expectations for one. And two, this is the Premier League. Everybody's going to try and improve. It's a very competitive league. Just prove me wrong, Arteta and Berta. Sometimes silence can be golden, you know.
Hmm.
Sometimes. But it don't look
It,
good to the fans.
it doesn't. You know what? Another thing that's really stressing people out is what are we going to do with the wing options? Because that right there, we're going to talk about that. What are we going to do with the striker options? What are we going to do with all these options that we need to get? Because to me, it just seems like when Chelsea needs something, when City needs something, when Liverpool needs something, they just go and get it. Why is it whenever we want a left winger or a striker, we need to sell to buy? We need to friggin' get both contracts sorted out to figure out which one we want to do. Surely we're adding too much stress to ourselves. I've never heard of a club agree both contracts and personal terms and fees just to decide which player they're going to sign. It sounds like a whole lot of bullshit.
Can't lie, I have before, but again, whether it's
Really?
Joker or
Fees
Sesko,
also?
you definitely heard that. Do you know how many times players come out? Maybe not in the public like this, but do you know how many times players have agreed to move to either club or two clubs at once? That's nothing new. Our issue is we just need to get it over the line. Liverpool owe Onslaught. Like Onslaught worked wonders. I don't know if Liverpool fans were talking about winning the league last summer, but they did not give him the summer they needed. So they needed to kind of do that. And then obviously where you look at their contract talks around like Van Dijk and Salah, obviously you're not going to tell your players what you're going to do, but you have to show them that they're going to do stuff. So it doesn't surprise me. Chelsea need to steady their ship. They were probably ready to move whether they got Champions League football or not. And I hope Arsenal are. If Zubamendi's really been done, if you've been talking to Sesko for a year or two, then there shouldn't be any issues. All I need to do is see us get the deals done and have an ability to pivot, because that's something that's been a pitfall of us as well, which is why I'm not necessarily vexed about us having two alleged deals agreed for Sesko and Gyokeres, because what normally happens, we throw our hat into one ring, whether that's Zubimemdi, Nico Williams, this one, that one. And like in the case of Declan Rice, we got that over the line, innit? Like we got that over the line. In the others, we haven't. And then what normally happens is we tried. And in relation to go back to what you said about the whole we have to sell to buy, this is the PR that people fall for, isn't it? Like Arsenal are in a great place financially. We know that we have certain practices. So the money we're able to spend doesn't necessarily mean we will, but we've seen this before. War chest, yada, yada, yada. God forbid, but if it goes left and we have the market, we have the window, sorry, that we don't want, what are we going to see? Oh, we were scared to buy and we were very fearful about walking a tightrope with PSR. Just get it done. As I say, I'll criticize and praise every day, but if that window comes and you have a summer like last summer, or you haven't addressed the key areas you need to address, by hook or by crook, people need to deliver, or people need to walk next summer, next season.
You know what? Before we talk about Arteta, before we talk about sales, anything else, there is some targets that we need to discuss. Which targets are the obvious targets that Arsenal need to sign? Striker, left wing, cam, right? But how many players do you think Arsenal needs specifically, just to paint our picture of our dream transfer window? How many players do you think we need?
But if you said dream, I'd love about 7. If you're saying kind of a not realistic dream, because I don't know, but starting 11, you need a midfielder, someone that's genuinely going to play instead of Partey or push him. So I assume that's Zubimemdi. I don't know if you've seen the quotes, but he's playing a bit of a diplomatic game, but you need that. Need a striker, whether it's Gyokeres or Sesko. I know there's pros and cons around all, and I hear that, and I agree with certain things, but I'm at the point where just get me a striker. So there's that. Left wing, because I think we're all waffling about a striker. Left wing, we need someone that's going to offer something on that left-hand side and get numbers. So that's 3 starters. Then you need to sort out the goalkeeping situation. Can you get me a second choice goalkeeper and a third choice goalkeeper? Can you get
Are
me?
you shopping at Chelsea, getting a Kepa
No,
or
no, no. Let's stop that, man. Let's stop that. Let's stop that, man. It's over now. Unless you're gonna buy the top Chelsea players like Caicedo, which ain't gonna happen. Left back. I mean, I wouldn't mind a left back. I wouldn't mind a right back. I wouldn't mind someone that's like Timiyasu or Timber. I wouldn't mind a centre half, right side centre back that can play right back and on the same side. So we probably need about 5, 6, man. Ideally, 3 to the starting 11.
all right. before we start with the striker, let's just start with the left wing, because I feel like that is the one where it's like there's a disconnect between what we want and what could actually end up happening. Now, there's a whole list of players we want. I don't think some of these guys are going to happen, and I'm gonna name them. You tell me what you think, if it's realistic or if it's not realistic. First of all, today we heard about Nico Williams. You heard what the report about Nico Williams was today.
Yeah.
Mad thing, eh?
Mad thing, man. I like him, but I just feel it's like a woman giving you mixed signals. Like, just move on, bro. Like, I like him. I like what he could be. I don't think he's like. I think he's one that you need to persist and develop with. But we keep hearing different things. He's probably taking everyone around the houses. So might as well leave it. And yeah, they want him to sign a new deal. Wouldn't you if you were Bilbao? Because you could get a lot more than 58 million. No, last year we heard he wanted to stay. He wanted to go Barcelona. Then we heard he wanted to stay because he wanted to participate in the Europa League. Now you can see, he wants to stay potentially because they're in the champs, which he reserves the right. There's a World Cup next year. So that could obviously impact whether you move or leave. Go all out for him, but just move on, man. Like, just move on. Like, I'm tired of hearing about Nico Williams. I just feel he's giving mixed signals, and we know the wage demands, which I don't care what his wage demands are, but just move on, man. Try get him. I would not be against him. I'd be a happy man if you get him, but how long are we going to keep going after guys that are giving mixed signals?
He's not the only one.
He's not the only one. No.
The other one is also just like him too, Rodrygo. I don't think he wants to leave. He wants to continue his career at Real Madrid.
But that's not really mixed signals from him then.
What?
That ain't mixed signals. Nico Williams is mixed signals. That ain't mixed signals from Rodrygo.
No, but the mixed signals here is, do they want to sell? Do they not want to sell? Because Real Madrid really hold the cards on his future. If Real Madrid tell him we don't want you, he's gone, and everyone's coming to purchase him.
But there's also rumors they want to give him a new deal as well. Is it like we're in that time in the year now where it's just whisper? Everybody's adding their little flavors about renewals, about they need to sell, about he has to use the Club World Cup to obviously show he can be utilized. Xabi Alonso don't want him. Xabi Alonso wants to give him an opportunity. It's just bare whispers, man. I
even heard if Xabi realizes that one of Mbappe or Vini are going to have to go, they're going to have to go, and he's going to stay.
But really, Mbappe ain't going nowhere. He just got his feet under the door. Vinicius, isn't he about to sign a new deal? I can't see that. Rodrygo seems, of the front three that you said, and there's obviously a couple of other players they might sell, but of the major players in the front three, as you said, Rodrygo's probably the more disposable player, quote unquote.
You know,
it's going to be a big financial outlay, man.
The thing about Rodrygo for me, if Chelsea get Gittins, they're not going to go back in for Rodrygo.
Have you seen how many players they signed? I don't know.
Hey, it could be a possibility where if they go get Gittins and they go in, they might not be able to go back in for Rodrygo after the Club World Cup, because they're going to probably spend a lot of their money ahead of the Club World Cup. Similar with Man City, who look like they're trying to get a lot of their business done before the Club World Cup. If there's a situation where Rodrygo becomes available after the Club World Cup, Arsenal has to take that opportunity, because, bro, I seen a tweet earlier today. We're always ready to take opportunities when it comes to center backs and left backs, and goalkeepers. But what the hell are we doing when it comes to attackers? Kvaratskhelia was there. Imagine if we signed Kvaratskhelia instead of PSG. Would we be Champions League winners right now?
We'd have a better left-hand side, that's for sure.
This is the question.
They tell us they want players with X factor. There you have it. But the X factor comes with wages. And again, there's many different ways to do it, innit? Like, obviously, City have bought stars, but equally, at the point of entry, Gundogan was just seen as a good player, but fairly attainable for everyone. Kevin De Bruyne the same, Bernardo Silva the same. Obviously, then you look at Liverpool when they got Mane. He was there in the Premier League for anyone. They took a chance. Obviously, the same said with Salah. Then there's obviously the big money signings. There's many ways. Like, do you just pay the going rate? Do you buy those players that are not being looked at that have the potential? Do you do the best of the rest in the Premier League? Kind of what United have done with Cunha and Mbuemo. There's many different ways to get there. But we need to do something.
We will buy 2 left wingers. Mudrik's gone. Greedy, eh?
Oh, I forgot Mudrik was even a thing. But yeah, the Chelsea will buy players. They will find a way to do it.
Crazy. You know what the new meltdown is on Twitter in the last 48 hours? Leroy Sane. Talk to me. What are we saying?
But what if the manager wants him? A lot of people say back the manager. If that's what the manager wants, boy.
It sounds like a cheap move. To me, it's you're replacing Raheem Sterling with another free transfer. And if you go and tell me we're not going to sign another left winger, you better get me two forwards, two more forwards with Leroy Sane.
He ain't doing that because Kai Havertz is probably going to rotate in and out with whoever's going to be the 9.
Then I don't know what we're planning on doing, because Leroy Sane to me is squad depth at best. He's not an upgrade to what we currently have.
What, on the left-hand side?
He's squad depth.
He's better than Martinelli and Trossard, I can't lie. It's not the signing I want, but he's better than them. He is. The only issue with Sane is I don't want to be that guy, and I don't care about your age, but you're 29, you're going to be on big wages, you're living in London. Are you going to be hungry because you've won a lot of stuff in your career? These players haven't. Are you going to have that same hunger? Obviously, he's got a dodgy injury record. If you get him on big money and a big length contract, you're in issues. It don't look good, but I'm not going to look down on it. Beggars can't be choosers, but it's hardly the uplifting signing you'd want as a fan.
He had his best goal scoring tally in the Bundesliga this season. He's previously played in the Premier League. Maybe it could work, but I would prefer, if we were to get Leroy Sane, to also bring in another left winger and probably sell one of Trossard or Martinelli.
Nah, man, you got to hold on to them for a year, man. We need depth, at least a year.
So are we kicking the whole left wing options down to another season?
No, you get your striker, you get your left winger, you've got Martinelli and Trossard in the squad, and you got Wanyeri. Pardon me?
It's very underwhelming. If we end up with, if we wanted to get Nico Williams and Rodrygo, and we come out of the summer with Sesko and Sane, it's gonna be like.
Yeah, but you always tell me trust the manager, girl. Like, if this is the players he wants and all of that, make it happen. These man have made their bed. They've got to lie in it. Whether they sign nobody, the stars we want, or like half a bit like a Sane and a Gyokeres, they've got to make it happen. They need to deliver silverware. Whatever way you lot go about it, just make sure you do it. All right. He's made his bed, bro. They've made their bed. Got to lie in it.
All right, let's talk about personally. I view Ethan as a Bukayo Saka backup, but I get the fact that Leroy Sane. But if we're getting Leroy Sane and like Isaac, that makes sense. You know what I mean? But if we're getting Leroy Sane and Sesko, it's like you're kind of blowing your load on one player when you could have spread it out and got a better left winger. That's my whole thing.
Fair. I mean, Arteta and Arteta got a lot to do.
I would still go for Rodrygo and Gyokeres as my two options for the forward.
You're not trying to let the Rodrygo thing die, bro. We're not doing that, fam. We're not doing that. Like, we're not gonna pay them what they want, put his on his wages and all the other business. I hope I'm wrong. We need those players of X Factor, like they told us, ironically, the year we went out to Bayern Munich. But we're not doing that. And while we're trying to renew contracts and all of those things and get people off the wage bill, stranger things have happened. I can't see us signing Rodrygo. Of course, I want to be wrong. I hope I am wrong, but it's not happening. It's not happening. And even if it does happen, as you said at the start, I can't imagine it's one that we're going to see anytime soon. Regardless of whether he stays or not, he's going to participate in that Club World Cup, and Real Madrid probably want him to do such. So it'll be interesting, Egal, man. We got a lot of content to make in the couple of months until the season starts. That's for sure. We're going to get linked with a bunch of people.
It's gonna be peak. I'm not even focused on rivals right now. I'm just looking at, from what we're doing, I'm not satisfied yet. I need to see more. I need to see more from these guys. I need to see more links to defenders and all these other things, because we're gonna get onto it. Next, the striker. The striker situation is just as peak. What are we gonna do there? Because it seems like it's only two options. But those two options, it seems like we don't know it, and the club hasn't made it public what their preferred option is. One day we hear Sesko is the preferred option, the other day we hear Gyokeres is the preferred option.
But that's the journalist, though, Egal, man. To be fair to the club, it's the journalist. Like, you got to remember, obviously there's always football. There's football going on, but it's their job to get engagement, get us talking. Like someone in your chat just said, the Zubimemdi quotes are fake. I don't even know if they're real or fake, but it creates engagement, my brother. They're gonna, you know how the articles go. All you got to do is make an article. Like I might say, Man United are following up their interest with Cunha and Mbuemo with going for Gyokeres. I might be chatting, pardon my language, a lot of shit, but in that article, if I put sources close to the player have informed us, you get it. It's all our mind games. I think the club know. I don't know whether it's Gyokeres or Sesko. Again, we've been looking at Sesko for years. We tried to get him last summer. We actually linked with Gyokeres. The Athletic said we liked Gyokeres last year. The Athletic also came out the minute Berta walked in and said that he's a big fan of his. So obviously he must have said like what's going on there. I think they know. I think they know. There's probably reasons as to, I wish I was a fly on the wall as to why they might not have decided, but it's late in the day. We know about the striker position. Do we really, really, really think the club don't know that we're going for Gyokeres or we're going for Sesko? Maybe we want Sesko and Sesko says no, then we pivot towards Gyokeres. Maybe we're on Gyokeres. He pivots and says, I'm staying at Sporting or going to another club, man. So it'd
Could
be
we get both,
interesting.
or is that
I'd love both, but I just can't see that. I'd love both. That would be the ideal world if we get away from the individual strike, like the fact that
play
it's
Sesko
Gyökeres
on the
and
wing?
Sesko. Pardon?
Play Sesko on the wing. He's played there many times.
I hear that, but I'm not. You could do that, but I'm not on that. Just off the basis of having a prime striker and a development striker. But again, you've got Kai Havertz. Kai Havertz clearly is loved by the manager. Bigs him up tactically. We saw the Athletics article. I personally think it's going to be a Sesko thing because him and Kai Havertz are going to rotate in and out. I don't really like the rhetoric with some Arsenal fans with Sesko. I understand the hype around Gyökeres, and I understand the frustration around Sesko's a kind of potential development kind of signing. And I think many fans would be sympathetic to Sesko for that, but we're kind of past that. We kind of need to deliver now, which is why I like Gyökeres, because it goes against the grain of what we want to do. We might look at Sesko and think, like in 3-4 years or something, he was amazing. We should have bought him. But Gyökeres is 27. He's ready right now. He's significantly more experienced. And apparently he's cheaper, which you could caveat that and say maybe Sesko, the fact that the club are willing to commit so much to him means they've got belief in him more. I'm at the stage now to a degree, bro. Gyökeres, Sesko, that's all good. Bring me one. You better damn well bring me one in the summer, innit? Need one.
We're gonna get one of them. I know that.
I hope so.
But my thing is, I agree with you. I prefer Arsenal to go and get the more experienced, ready-made player that can help us win now. Sesko, as good as he is, when I have some of the biggest scouts across what do you call it, social media talking about Sesko, saying he is an amazing talent, but he's not ready. And Arsenal scouts saying he's an amazing talent. We want him. What are we doing? Like, what is Arsenal seeing that we don't see?
Well, I wish I knew, man. Probably metrics. They've probably been tracking him for years. Like, what? He's been someone they've looked at for since he was like 18, 19. He played in the youth league, the youth equivalent to the champs. Anyone that's played Football Manager's probably seen him. He's someone that's been earmarked, and clearly Leipzig know that because when they bought him, they probably bought him with the sense of developing him and selling him for a profit. I don't think he's the prettiest on the ball. I do think he needs to develop. I do think in the short term it's going to be a bit of pain. I do think he could be a top striker in a few years. But as I said, that's all fun and games. And that's for Sesko. For Arteta and the club, you need to deliver now. So if you sign Sesko and he shows potential, but then also shows his age, who you got to blame? Who have you got to blame?
You only have the club to blame. And at this point, I'm not blaming Berta because he's just walked in.
He just walked in.
The person I'm looking at Arteta. I'm looking at the people. I'm not even looking at the board. I'm just looking at Arteta. You have said we need to go and get the best to deliver. If you go and say we need to go and get the best to deliver and you bring in Sesko, I personally am looking at you as, are you in job preservation mode and are going to tell us these guys are not ready and they need time? Or are you?
But how does that preserve your job?
No, because certain guys going, certain guys get players and they say, oh, you know what? He's not ready. He needs time. And then it ends up being a thing where they try to kick it down the road and say everything's going to be.
Bro, they've gone past that. You finished second. You've regressed in the league as well. You know, you've flirted with the semi-finals. You haven't been picking up the domestic cups. The club has gone past that. Man need to go and win, bro. And even that as well. Yeah, regardless of how it pans out. Imagine we had the same. Just being devil's advocate. Forget all the injuries and the contexts. Imagine we had the same season. Yeah. We had the same season this year coming as this year, in that we got 2 semi-finals, went out the FA Cup, finished in second. Are the Cronkies necessarily going to sack the gaffer who just signed the 50 mil a year contract?
You know, the Cronkies have been moving different across other sports. Maybe
across other sports, they've been doing that for a while though. What they done in football?
No, they had loyalty in across other sports, but for them to sack both their GM and their coach going into a playoff series was crazy, unheard of. So I do think they're more trigger happy, and hopefully what happened in the women's team can maybe inspire them for the men's team, because there could be a possibility where Arteta could be sacked mid-season if things go wrong. Now, don't get me wrong.
You said that, yeah. Because if they're gonna do that, then if you were thinking of God, obviously everybody wants Arteta to do well. Well, Arsenal fans, anyways, whether you like him or not, you want it to go well so we can win a trophy, yada yada yada. Whether you like the guy or not, naturally, in it. But if you put yourself in the Kroenke's minds and you genuinely were thinking, do you know what, Arteta's a good gaffer, but he's struggled to get us over the line. This season is it. If it's, like you said, whether mid-season it's looking shaky, you cut the cord then, or you sack him at the end of the year. Whoever that manager is that would inspire, that would come in and inspire these boys. Surely you've got to be looking now. I'm not saying you got to be having conversations, but you've got to be writing down names, indirect conversation. You got to know how you're moving now. You're not just going to do that straight away. And the club are quite calculated. When we got Emre, there was a list of guys. We got Emre. Remember, we tried to get Arteta that year as well. So they need to be thinking about that from now if that's how they're going at it. And I don't genuinely think they are. I think the only pressure on Arteta is him internally about him wanting to win stuff, and externally with people like me, yourself, the fans, obviously the many different media outlets. That's where the pressure comes in. And if you deep it, I know that the things have been adjusted now because we've got ourselves in this conversation now, bro. But the guy has actually survived a much darker time. The protests, the Kroenkes as well, when there was protests, when we were languishing in eighth. I'm not saying I'm happy, but this is first world issues. As much as there's fans that might be questioning, there's fans that will just bury their heads in the sand. We did get to the semi-finals. This is a bit more rosier. They need to deliver.
Talking about the Madrid and Zubimemdi quotes. We'll talk about that in a second. But we're in agreement. We both want Gyokeres. We think Gyokeres is the guy.
I fuck with Sesko so much, but I want Gyokeres just because it's different. It's now mode. Like you're 26, turning 27. You can improve, but generally what you see is what you get. Sesko's obviously not quite of a project player as I'm making out, but essentially he's a project player. He needs to be rounded. Sesko's here right now type of thing.
Is his aerial threat really worth 20 million more? His potential worth 20 million more?
That's a question only Arteta can answer, if I'm honest with you. And only he can. If he does the business, we're going to think, wow, what a player. And that's the only thing. Because there's a reality. Gyokeres could flop. Sesko could flop. They both could bang. But we've seen what not signing anyone's done. And that's where we can't go.
Let's quickly shift gears to this quote. I know you probably read it on your channel earlier, if anything. Is this real?
I don't know, man, because some people are saying it's real. I would have taken it for that. Some people are saying it's fake. I don't know, man.
Never heard of these accounts. Sometimes I can't take things. I'll wait until Fabrizio tweets it. Did Fabrizio tweet it? Then it's
someone saying it's real.
I don't know about this.
To be fair, I do think it's real because like the Chris Wheatleys and all the more credible journalists are speaking. But this is what I always say. Like
he said, it would be disrespectful to talk about that while I'm on international duty.
True.
So there you go. So maybe he's just trying to downplay everything.
I mean, it could be diplomatic. He could be considering everything. And to be honest, if you're Martin Zubimemdi and Real Madrid give you a call and Xabi Alonso give you a call, you're gonna want to go there. But for Arsenal and all the ITKs, you were saying, oh, it's been done since January. It's going through in July because of accountancy stuff. Boy, and as I keep saying, if Zubimemdi's your guy, go out and get him. Try your best to get him. But if you don't get him, make sure you don't come and tell me in September. I don't want to see articles via the Athletic about we tried and Zubimemdi's the only one, because we've been down this road with this guy many a time. And Liverpool
Zubimemdi and Nico Williams.
Yeah, but no one ain't done it like Zubimemdi, man. No one ain't done it like Zubimemdi. Nobody has done this BS like Zubimemdi. Nobody, man.
Yeah, he did it to Liverpool too. He did it to Bayern. He's been doing
it to Barca. Did it to us.
Bro, I think Zubimemdi, if he does a U-turn from here, it would be the biggest shock. I think what's happening is the two clubs have an agreement. And you know what Liverpool did with Szoboszlai, where he signed on the 31st of July? I think that's what we're going to do with Zubimemdi. We're just waiting for the physical year to be finished and the next year to begin. And then boom, everything's done. Officially agreed, signed, sorted, announced.
I hope so, but I need to see him in the shirt. And until I see him in the shirt, we can only talk about him hypothetically.
Can you announce something and then just the physical year transfer happens on the 1st of July? Why do we always have to wait?
I don't know, man. Let's just hope it's the calm before the storm, man. I have no clue.
Goalkeeper. Have you heard any links to goalkeeper? Because we know about left back and centre back links.
After the Garcia thing, it's gone quiet with the goalies, isn't it? Really?
I don't want no. Everyone's just shopping at Chelsea. I'm hearing Kepa for 5 million. I'm hearing that Petrovic guy. I really don't know what we're gonna do.
Boy, go and get. I don't know who would be the number two. Get me a decent number two, and just go get me some 35-year-old English goalkeeper that helps us with the homegrown rules, and let him be third choice. I want all the young goalies to go out and play football, man. There's no point being a
What
third
if we
choice
get
goalie.
injuries? Don't you want a goalkeeper who would actually come in?
Then obviously one of the goal. Yeah, that's what I said. You got your Raya, right? You got your second choice keeper, whoever that is, and you've got your third choice, which should be a 35-year-old experienced man. Obviously, not all of the academy goalies are gonna go on loan. Somebody's gonna need to play. If that does happen, then naturally, what would be technically the fourth choice, the academy goalie, becomes the third.
Garcia's basically told
He's sick.
he told them that he's going to Barcelona, right?
Swear.
Yeah,
See, we should have got that last year, man.
apparently he's going to Barcelona. We missed out on 5 million. That's you snooze, you lose. It would have cost us 5 million more.
Dark.
It is what it is right now. Well,
exactly.
Jason Hato is a left back target, but some people are saying forget about left back. Just play Miles Skelly there in Calafiori.
I mean, Hato can play as a centre half as well. I like him, man. He's got a serious future. I think we need left back cover, if I'm honest with you, because when you really strength test our depth, Miles Lewis-Skelly has shown a lot of consistency. He's been great. He's been doing his thing. But naturally, there's going to be tough periods. Your form might be rubbish and you might have to get dropped. You might get injuries. Unfortunately, injuries is synonymous with Tomiyasu. Zinchenko potentially is going to leave. Tierney's gone. Kivior can play left back, but we know that's a ticking time bomb. Maybe you need to address something there. And I'm probably missing Calafiori can play there. But again, fitness comes down to him. Probably need that. Probably. Obviously, Timber can go over there as well, but we've ran Timber into the ground, and right now he's nursing a knock. So we probably do need either a left back or someone that can play there.
Do you think Miles Skelly plays in midfield then?
I don't think he will next season, but I wouldn't see him exposed to it, man. I still don't know if he's going to have a future in Arsenal's midfield on a consistent basis or be a long-term left back. Either way, like what a player he is and what a future he's going to have here, man. Would like to see him exposed to both, man, but go on.
Talking about players with futures, do you think Partey has a future at the club?
I mean, for all the talk about new deals, until he signs it, we just don't know. And I'm sure you've seen yourself, Barcelona been thrown into the mix. At this moment in time, we need to be able to.
Remind me of Aaron Ramsey. It sounds like he might be gone.
If he's gone, he's gone, because that now means two central midfielders. And that's even more work on top of what Arsenal need to do. You've spoken to me about what left back, well, we're talking about centre mid now. We spoke about left back, spoke about goalie, spoke about striker. It's another thing to do, isn't it, really and truly? And I feel sorry for Bert. I don't, because you know what you're walking into, but I feel sorry for Bert because on the best of days, he wasn't going to sleep a wink. And that's just another thing that needs to be done. So we'll have to see, man. But it's in the balance. On paper, he's leaving. As it stands, on paper, he's gone. Unless something's changed, unless anyone here works for the club and they know he signed it and we're just waiting on an announcement, it's looking bleak where our options are there, man.
Centre back. Is it just a guy from Valencia? That's the only centre back we're linked to.
Yeah, we did try to get Victor Rice in January. We did go for Howson. So clearly we're looking at some level of developmental centre back to tie into the squad, in my opinion. Clearly we ain't been able to do that so far.
But Kivior was basically a developmental guy, and now it looks like we're trying to sell him. Wouldn't you keep him? I
would keep Kivior. If we get an offer we quote unquote can't refuse, then we've got a decision to make. If Kivior has said, you know what, I've been playing in my natural position, I've done well against Real Madrid, maybe the manager, because if there's one thing Arteta could have learned, I need to rotate where I can and be a bit cute and clever. Maybe the manager thinks like that. Maybe he says, you know what, I believe in myself, I'm confident, I remember who I am now. I actually want to go somewhere and play first team football. That's where you're at with Kivior. I think there's many a player that needs to leave before him. I'll keep him for the squad, but I could understand, because when you deep it, yeah, people can sit here and say, oh yeah, sell Zinchenko, sell Tomiyasu, get rid of Kai Havertz, Jesus needs to leave, Nelson needs to go, this one, that one, and the third, right? It's easier said than done, whether it's right or wrong, whether it's because of the wages, there might not be offers, etc. It's only rumors. And again, I don't work in football, but it appears that Kivior actually has had interest consistently from an Italian from the Italian clubs. And has he put a few more pounds on his price tag simply with how he's playing? Because I think we should keep him. And it's not the same as Ainsley Maitland-Niles, but sometimes we strike a player where they're in a bit of purple patch, they're in a bit of form, and we never let them go when we can command a fee. So there's a lot to consider, man. There's a lot of things that we need to do at this club in a matter of months, if that.
All right. Before we go on to the final thing, people, please do hit that like button. We got over
Come on, smash the
340.
likes.
Yeah, we got over 345 people in the building. Please do hit that like button. I can see a lot of rivals in the building too. Chelsea fans really feeling themselves in here chatting shit. But how many players do you want to sell? Just going through it quickly.
It's a techie one, man, because I can't see us selling 7 and bringing in 7.
Any forwards getting sold?
Bring up Arsenal.com quick, please.
Because I'm looking at
Right, bring up the you know where they got the team on Arsenal.com.
Yeah, I got it. I'm gonna go.
You even got a West Brom fan here. Big up West Brom, man. Ryan Mason's your gaffer now.
I'm gonna go full mob quick. So full mob, they separated per position. So first you got the goalkeepers. Let's be honest, Neto's gone. You know what? You want Arsenal.com, right? Let me just go.
Yeah.
Arsenal.
And just go on their team thing.
There it is.
Look, trying to promote the new shirt.
That's what they always do. First, you got the goalkeepers. Neto's gone, so we don't have to worry about that.
Might be worth keeping him now.
Tierney's already gone. Tomiyasu and Zinchenko, probably the next two to go.
Zinny gone. Tommy, I'll give you at least till Jan or at least a season.
Kivior, there's no point in selling him. Keep him.
Unless he says he wants to go as an offer, we think he's too good. Then Kivior, you're staying put 100%.
Somebody offered us the same money we paid for Calafiori. Do you think he's gone?
Nah, I'm keeping Calafiori. I think we got a player there. Just needs to stay fit.
We don't really have the midfield depth is weak, bro.
Tired. It's weak. Weak. Look at that.
Let's be honest. Jorginho's already gone. We only have 4 midfielders right now. Technically, we only have 3.
And then you could force it and say Lewis Skelly, but we ain't seen him exposed there. We ain't really seen Zinni play there. Another one. We ain't seen Wanyeri play there. And obviously Fabio Vieira's forgotten man there, but there's no like pure centre mid guys likely to play instead of
guys. We improved our squad depth. What the hell's going on?
I don't know who told you that, man. I don't know where you got that. Because the only way our defense is only our defense, quote unquote, had some decent depth, and that's being strength tested now for things we're discussing. So false. Our midfield is Gal. We need a midfielder or two, man.
Midfield is a joke, bro.
4 competitions, 38 games. Oof.
Our midfield is a joke. We're literally 1 injury away from being fucked every week.
We're in issues there. And even that, like, they should take Jorginho off. There's 4, like you said. Boy.
It's 3. Partey's out of contract.
Partey as well. On paper, he's gone until we're shown something else.
So at this moment in time, forget about Ethan, forget about Miles Skelly. You have Mikel Moreno, Odegaard, and what do you call it? Declan Rice are the only Arsenal midfielders on the books. Compare that to Man City, Chelsea, and Liverpool right now.
But we knew this last season. And then we went into it and people wanted to just waffle about injuries.
Regardless of Zubimemdi, we need a second midfielder coming in, and preferably somebody who can play in midfield and can also play in attack.
Nah, let's just get proper midfielders, man.
I'm saying like a Xavi Simon or like Eze type.
Yeah, I hear that. Yeah, I hear that.
Because let's be honest, these two can all play deep. Partey states he can play deep. And he can also play as an 8. Moreno can also play as an 8 and deep. They keep talking about trusting Ethan and what do you call it, Max Dowman, but on a real, that's a lot of pressure on a 15-year-old and 18-year-old. Anybody of sense would know they're not going to be able to play as many minutes right away. You go and get another Xavi Simon or somebody like that who can jump into the midfield. If we get Zubimemdi and Xavi Simon, I think that can help our midfield massively.
We ain't getting Xavi Simons, man.
Plus, keep Partey. We got to keep Partey. We can't afford to lose Partey, I don't think.
Facts.
We got to keep Partey. All the stuff about let him go, people getting mad about things that we don't know about, we got to chill out. I think Partey is essential for next season if we're trying to stay serious.
Need depth, man. Need depth.
And then the attack is even worse. Bro, to me, this team doesn't look like a challenging team next year.
But you were telling me we're setting up for domination and all these. I tried to tell you all of this, man.
No, I know, but the amount of stuff that we got to do is ridiculous now.
I tried to tell you all of this. I tried, man. We got a lot to do. And
Could
in an
could this
ideal
cycle
world, yeah, it would just
this
be a
cycle
touching
could
up
be
kind
over
of
if we don't
window.
if we don't get this window right. This cycle could be over. Like, I'm not even trying to fearmonger. I'm just worried.
Ain't the cycle over, anyways?
You think
What
so?
cycle is there now? What cycle?
This is the last year of this like team if we can't get something out of it.
Oh, I hear
I,
it.
I think if we don't win nothing this upcoming season, Saliba's gone probably. I still believe Gabriel and Ben White and these guys are going to be around, but it's going to be a situation where I'm looking at time is ticking on Saka, time is ticking on Rice. I think three of our best players are going to look around, be like, "Yo, is Arsenal serious this window? We
Wouldn't
need
you?
to go. We need to go and go blow for blow with Liverpool and Man City and these guys for
Wouldn't you
their
have been
transfer."
thinking that in January, where Declan Rice is saying, "Oh yeah, I'm sure the gaffer wants to sign players. Tini's playing left wing, and Arteta's saying I want a striker." Not to say Arteta's fully, to
But what's
to
holding us back
fully
as a
absolve
club?
the blame. Pardon?
Is it the owners or is it just the way the club
Oh
functions?
no, it's everybody. It's everyone. It's everyone. The owners have their little niche and how they're doing stuff. I can't sit here and just blame the owners. They've given. I'm not even talking about the whole 700 and whatever. The last 3 years, Arteta's had peas, bro. He's had peas. Like the same way people were praising about how the squad's been built and all of this. You have to hold the same smoke. There's not just one person to be blamed. Obviously, it comes from the top. Arteta needs to hold his licks. Edu, when he was here, needs to hold his licks, and everyone around them. If I feel sorry for anyone, bro, it's the players because they've been ran into the ground. Everybody has some fault to play. In the same way, if we got over the line, everybody would have some praise. As
Mm.
much as I'm not a fan of the Cronkies, bro, they've in the last 3 years. I keep saying the last 3 years because this is when we've really come into these conversations. You've got 100, and you spent 105 million on Declan Rice, 65 for Kai Havertz. In a window where you might not have had that amount of money to play with, you went for Calafiori and Marino. We can't blame Arteta for everything, but you can't fully absolve him for all the blame. Because I do think Arsenal fans get into this trap here. When signings don't work out, Arteta didn't want him. When it works, Arteta wanted him. Everyone has to hold smokes, bro. We need to deliver. You're on borrowed time. The summer me and you are talking about it needed to happen last summer. But we can't go back in time. Let's just move forward, man. And they need to do what's needed, man.
All right. So I'm gonna first look at the realistic one. Realistically, this is potentially gonna be our team next season if we get Leroy Sane. And who do you think the striker is gonna be? Gyokeres.
Sesko, if I'm honest.
So it's a Sesko thing. That's one thing. But then who's our backup keeper gonna be?
I wish I had an answer, man.
Because if
I
we
wish
look
I
at
had an answer for the goalies.
okay, so let's go through our backup team then. Because Moreno's gonna be in the backup team. Moreno's in the backup team. Who else is there? Is Partey still gonna be around?
On paper, he's not here, innit? I hope he signs a new deal, but on paper, he's not here. So it depends how you want to look at it.
Who's the backup 10? Ethan?
Wanyeri, yeah. Probably Kai Havertz before him, to be fair.
So we still have Martinelli. We still have Trossard. Who's the backup striker? Havertz?
I think he's the first choice striker. Marino's probably the backup guy up there.
We don't know who the backup. Ben White is the backup right back. Who's the backup left back? Calafiori.
Yeah.
What's the backup center back situation and the goalkeeper? That's the only thing we don't know about.
As it stands, Kivio obviously on the left-hand side.
All right.
And then you're looking at probably moving Ben White over there or Timber.
So you're moving Ben White here, and what are you doing?
And then Timber's going to have to, obviously Timber will be playing right back.
No, but Timber's in the starting 11.
Then boy, ain't trying to be in the spot. But Tomiyasu, if fit, asterisk. I almost forgot he was here.
Okay. Now goalkeeper. So we still need to sign a goalkeeper.
As it stands, either Carl Hine or Tommy Setford as a centre half. Apologies, goalie.
All right. So just looking at these two,
Sorry to cut you again, but yeah, skills. You're saying nobody cares about backup. When the squad gets ran into the ground, like you saw last season, everyone starts talking about depth. So it's not fully true. But go on, go.
Yeah, you know what? I'm just looking at the reason why I'm doing this is because I want to show everybody exactly what we're dealing with next season. Because diluted, this is what we're going to be dealing with next season if it comes down to it. We're going to have a starting 11 potentially. We're going to have a backup for every position, and it's going to be better than this season slightly. But at the same time, our starters has the level in our starting 11 improved massively with Sesko and Leroy Sane. With Zubimemdi, Sesko, Leroy Sane, we've improved 3 starting positions.
I hope so.
Is
I
that enough?
actually hope so, bro. I hope so, again, man.
I feel like I'm killing the vibe today, bro.
No, they're
It
not
is.
killing the vibe, but I hope so. I'm a big fan of Sesko. I'm not necessarily against Sane. I like Zubimemdi, but like obviously it's more of a hindsight thing, and I'd have to see it. It's not one evidently if they all sign tomorrow where I'm like, yeah, obviously the depth is there, different options, but it's not where I'm looking at it like, wow, like evident quality we've improved. It's a bit like when Declan Rice walked in, you know, immediately before that man's kicked the ball, our midfield is improved. I actually said the same with Timber. Other than that, we've got more bodies and do your thing, but oof, feels a bit sideways a step, if I'm
You
honest.
know, I know you said it's not gonna happen, but I just feel like this makes it so much better. This just makes it so much better.
Of course it does. Yeah, now you're kind of cooking. You're talking to me. But the dream is free. The hustle is sold separately, my boy. It's dark.
Even you're saying Hato, would he start?
Not initially ahead of Miles Skelly, no.
How do you spell his name?
Hato.
You don't think he's a starter? So
Not ahead of not straight away. Could be.
I don't
Quality,
think
man.
Arsenal's gonna drop big money on a backup defender.
We need to 30, 40 million. He's gonna be worth it. Can play centre
We're
half, spent a
we're
year
probably gonna
as
spend
a
like
left
20
back.
million on that Valencia guy.
Nah, I'd rather the 30, 35 on Hato, man. Just get a couple players off the wage bills and bring Hato. Hato's going to have a big future in this game. He's got a long way to go. I'm sure. Who did they play? It was either France or Spain. I can't remember. I want to say Spain. He got terrorized, but I see something in that lad, man.
Fair.
And it could mean Lewis Kelly in midfield, but I don't know if Lewis Kelly is going to start in midfield or if Lewis Kelly would get as many minutes if you have a Zubimemdi, a Partey, a Rice, all as options in the middle of the park.
So we always have conversations about Arteta, but bro, the reality situation is if the club don't do what they can do to get the best players in this window, Arteta is once again going to have to work miracles with the squad that's not improved massively.
Yeah, I mean, they would have done him dirty, but at the same time, Miguel, he knows his employers. Like, I can forgive you for not knowing your employers when you walked in, but you like the job so much, you signed a new deal. I'm not saying it's wrong, but how far does that go? This is why I always say everybody is to be blamed in the same way everybody's to be praised. Arteta is not a damsel in distress. Like, you know the job that you're working in. You're telling me because you signed that deal, you can thrive within the contexts of this. There's no way around it. Everybody's got to put their big boy pants on. Berta, Arteta, the players, everybody, like everyone needs to pull their weight now.
You know what? We spoke about realistic, but is there an unrealistic? The unrealistic one is Gyokeres and Rodrygo, right?
No, I think Gyokeres is improbable. I wouldn't say it's impossible, which is what you're kind of alluding to. Rodrygo, I can't see it. Now, I couldn't see us signing Mesut Ozil, so you never know, man. But I can't see it, man. I can't see it. I want to be wrong. And I think with a Rodrygo, surely, and again, I'm not working in transfers, but surely Rodrygo's are meant like you go for them kind of players when you got your Zubimemdi, when you got your Sesko, your Gyokeres, when you've got certain people departing the club, when you've done all the bulk of the stuff, like you've bought the bread and the milk for your fridge, then you can go and buy a PS5 or something. Like, look after the basics. It's going to be dragged out as well, man. I hope so. That would lift me, you, the fans, will gas us, sell a lot of shirts as well. But seeing's believing, bro. And also, remember the wage bill, bro. Like, that's something in that beyond the obvious. Berta's going to have to get in check because I think Arteta and Edu, whether I necessarily liked ripping up contracts or not, we cleared the wage bill. And in time that's gone on, We've kind of fucked it again. Well, them lot have fucked it again. Pardon my French.
All right, let me show you this. Let me show you this, because this is probably the best image to explain what we're working with. This is potentially what we're going to be working with next season. I'm not going to lie, it's not that bad.
I'll take your word for it, Egal, man.
It's not that bad.
Inshallah, my guy, we do what needs to be done.
Where I would want improvement, get another attacking midfielder to add more quality to the midfield, because we still short bodies in the midfield. We're one injury away in the midfield to Odegaard to being in the same situation we were in last year.
Look at that back. Look at the well, it's my right hand side. So where you've got our first choice back five. But hey, you need some cover there. Obviously, you've got Benjamin White. Timber's nursing another injury. Saliba, obviously, we've seen maybe they don't necessarily need mad rest, but we've seen Saliba and Magalhaes. We need to be a bit cute and clever on occasions. Lewis Skelly's played a lot of football. I know he's young and that, and God forbid, but it's probably likely he suffers a little knock at some point based on like his body and how he's developing. Probably need another centre half, lad. I'm not gonna lie, or someone that could play there. Or you need your Tommy Yasus to be fit. But again, we've seen this story. I'm not gonna lie, it's not that bad, Egal, but it's not like, oh yeah, we're gonna fight now. And even all this signing stuff is one thing, and it is valid. But we've got to evolve from a coaching front. I think Arteta adapted last season with the injuries. I don't necessarily think we evolved as a team. So there's a lot across all aspects that we need to change, bro. And if nothing changes, nothing changes, man. And we're not going to lift what we want to lift come May.
This team next season, it's more the same as this year. Do you agree?
Yeah. The only difference is people are fit. Yeah. I don't see any specific upgrades in the team, but that doesn't necessarily have. That's just me on paper. If they go and do the business, and I look back in hindsight, fair enough. But in what you're showing me on the 3rd of June, it's not really uplifting, is it? So let's hope we can do a thing, man.
Has Arsenal ever gone out and gotten a ridiculous amount of players and taken a magical leap? It was the year where we finished 5th. That's where we took a big leap. How many players did we sign that window? Odegaard, Ramsdale, Tomiyasu. We did go nuts, but we waited till the end to go crazy.
And better we trust, man. Better help us, man. So it's a case of like, what's the saying, Egal? Like the glass is half empty, half full. That's kind of how it feels being an Arsenal fan at this moment in time, man.
You know what we need? We need a 17-18 Man City type window where we spend like 300K. That's what we need. Those guys, that window, they brought in how many players? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 players, and 6 of them walked into the starting 11. That is nuts.
But then if we did have that, what are the sort of players we're gonna bring in, man?
That would mean you bring in a left back, you'd bring in a central midfielder, you'd bring in an attacking midfielder, you bring in 2 forwards. I think Odegaard could be on the bench next season if we brought in a quality attacking midfielder.
But who is Arteta going to bring in, though, man? Because I think we need to get Arteta or Arsenal what we need, not what he wants.
I'm sick and tired of the Arteta conversation around signings. When are they going to start signing players for the club? Because sometimes Arteta's targets might not necessarily be the best case to help us deliver.
Exactly. But these are the things I've been trying to say to you for weeks and months ago. And now we're finally here. We're finally here, man. That's what I mean. It's the glass is half empty, half full. We're definitely not as great as people make out. And we're definitely not as terrible as people make out. We're a good side. We have enough. If we want to just get to semi-finals, not always batter Real Madrid, but beat Real Madrid or City and win some good battles, have a great games against the top 6 and all the, I won't say pointless records, but all the statistics that show that we're a good side, but don't result in lifting silverware. We've got enough. You see, if we want to get over the line, what we've been waffling about for the 54 minutes, that's what needs to change. That's how you go from being a good team to a great team. There's so many ways we need to evolve. I know we've done it, but we need to, for example, when you get better attacking players, there's going to be games, pardon my language, like over a 38-game period, there might be 4 to 5 games where you've been fucking shit. Everything's gone wrong. Arteta's tactics ain't working. The players are waffling, and the players might just get us out of jail. Now, we know if Saka doesn't do that typically, or Rice towards the end of the season, we're in issues. We need that. That's more points on the board. There's many more gears we need to go at, man, but I don't know, man. Seeing's believing, my boy.
Hey, let's not fall for all the doom and gloom because it seems like I've fallen for it. Guys,
I
try to
wouldn't
be
even say
happy.
doom and gloom. It's you lot show us what you're on, innit? It's not happy. It's not sad.
We're
It's
not going to
we're
sign
here, innit?
nobody in the next 10 days, bro. That's the reality. We're going to wait until the next part of the window. So just get ready for all the transfer dailies where we're talking about interest and monitoring for the next 7 to 8 days. And then the Club World Cup starts. We do our watch alongs, chill for a bit, and then we come back to it afterwards. Hopefully Rodrygo shit the bed for Real Madrid and then they want to sell him.
I hope you're right, man.
That's what we need. That's what we need. Anyways, I'm gonna let you go here. You got a show coming up?
No, man. I just before I came here, I was live. I probably got some cut up clips coming out, and you know me, man. Videos always coming out, man. Like, love for having me, Egal, man. It's been a great chat. Even though Arsenal ain't giving us anything to scream and shout about, you know, I always got time for you and big up the chat, man. I ain't got
There
nothing
you
to come
go.
out, man.
Guys, I'm gonna send you over to Man City channel. My brother Patrick, go show him some love and also just tell him 115 incoming. We're gonna wrap it up here, guys. Have yourselves a wonderful day. You
I
already
said
know what it is.
115.
We're out of here. Peace.
Come on.
Big up.